Hey everybody! So this week is Pentecost, which is kind of like the birthday of the church. So, what else could we do besides make some cupcakes? So today we're going to make some cold oven pound cake cupcakes. So I know what you're thinking. How are you going to bake in a cold oven? You're not. Your oven has to stay off before you put them in, which means once you put them in the oven is when you turn the oven on. There's no preheating or any of that, okay? So it just means that we're going to bake it at a lower temperature as well as there's no preheating or anything like that. So the following items are what you will need. So you're going to take your butter, 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter. The reason why you use unsalted butter is you control the salt. So again, if you are somebody who has high blood pressure or something like that, and salt also is not sometimes the best thing inside of a sweet recipe. So we're going to take our 3/4 of a cup, which is a stick and a half of softened butter. Make sure it is soft. Leave it out overnight. It's not gonna hurt nothing. Some people are like, oh, it's gotta stay cold. No, it's fine. Leave it out. Don't worry about it. So, we are gonna take our stick and a half of butter. We're gonna place that into a mixer. If you have a stand mixer, great. If you don't, that's okay. Use a hand one. It doesn't matter. What you're going to do is you're going to cream together your butter and your sugar until it's light and fluffy. So what it will do, it will change colors. So your butter is kind of a dark yellow, and it's going to get a little lighter and become like a pale pastel Eastery yellow. So we'll be back in just a minute. So you have a stick and a half of butter, and you're going to add 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. Okay? Once you have it in there, if you got a KitchenAid, make sure the head is locked down, because otherwise it might fly off the rails. Go ahead and turn that on. And let it cream. So what this is doing is the sugar is going to sort of dissolve inside of the warm butter, the room temperature butter, and it's going to make a smooth paste. You can see that it has changed consistencies now. It's gotten a little light, it's gotten a little airy, it's gotten a little fluffy. So what this paddle is doing is it is continuing to incorporate air and mixing the sugar and the butter together to make one delicious consistency of an ingredient. I don't know what tastes better than butter and sugar, but we love some butter now. Now that this has done its thing and it's gotten all incorporated, you're going to take eggs. You need 3 of them, just like mentioned earlier. But they need to be cold. Do not leave your eggs out. The only thing you should leave out is your butter, because it needs to be soft. Otherwise, your eggs and your milk, cold, 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 cold. This is vital. It's very important. It goes against everything that your grandma taught you about pound cake and how everything's got to be left out at room temperature. Trust me. It'll come out good with you. Now, I like to crack my eggs one at a time into another container vessel. I use a jar a lot. The reason doing so is in the event that you have an egg that is bad, and you already cracked your 5 eggs in a bowl, you're not going to ruin it. You can throw this one out, keep it trucking. So, 1 egg at a time. Always smell it a little bit, because sometimes you can't tell. Now, this is really funny because these eggs that I keep getting have double yolks. Don't know why. It's not important. I just think it's really cool. So, 1 egg at a time. Add it in. Let it incorporate totally. Egg number 2. Add it in. Egg number 3. Last one. Add it in. Let that mix up until it gets incorporated. Try not to overbeat it. Before you add your next ingredients, I want you to turn your mixer off. Lift up the head with a spatula or spoon. I'm using a spoon because the spatula is both in the dishwasher. You're going to scrape it down. Make sure that everything is off the bottom. If any of the butter is still not mixed in, you're going to scrape it out. And then tap it out. Put your top back down, turn it back on, let it whip together for a second. Then, with the mixer on low, start with your flour. You're going to divide your milk and your flour into thirds, okay? So, take flour, 1.5 cups of flour, and 1/2 cup of milk. The milk has to be cold, just like the eggs, don't forget. Add it in a little bit. Then let that incorporate. As it incorporates, the first round of flour is in. We're going to add in 1/3 of our milk. Just a splash, that's all you need. Then, we're going to add in some more of our flour. I like to put my ingredients in bowls because it allows you to just put it in there a little better. Now, you're going to start and finish with flour. So, you've added in your first round of flour, your first round of milk, your second round of flour. This means you're going to add in your your second and final round of milk. You're only going to divide the milk in half. And then once that's in, you're going to add in, let that incorporate, and you're going to add in the remaining of your flour. It is very important that you do flour starting and flour ending. That's going to ensure that there's no liquid left out. So there's not milk like floating somewhere on the top that could burn in the oven. And then all the flour's in. Now, let that combine, turn it off. Lift the top up, take your spoon, scrape it down. Scrape it down, okay? Make sure that you get all the way to the bottom. Okay, tap off the side, set that aside, and then we're gonna keep on. Once you have your flour in, the final thing that you're gonna put in, the recipe calls for vanilla extract and almond. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to nuts, so I can't use almond extract. So I use double the vanilla. So I'll use a whole teaspoon worth of vanilla. Now, I don't measure my vanilla. I don't. I learned from a wise pastry chef in culinary school that it's not gonna hurt it. Now, don't go overboard, because it can become overpowering, but it's just like a splash. It's just a little splash, that's it. That's all you gotta do, okay? Don't be afraid, don't be scared. You can do it. Boop. Done. Literally, say 1. That's it. You got it, okay? This is what your batter should look like. Now, final step. You're going to mix this on medium-high for 2 minutes. Count them. 2, 1, 2, 2 minutes. Okay? Here we go. Just leave it for 2 minutes. Once it's done mixing for the 2 minutes, medium high, 2 minutes, we are going to take our newfangled, where did it go? Here it is, scooper. If you don't have a scooper, you are going to fill these so they're about half full. Don't go any higher because this has 3 eggs in it. It's going to rise. Never made a pound cake before. You got this much battery in there and then it shoots up. So, be right back. So, this is a 1 tablespoon scooper. You're going to, if you have something like this, you're going to put approximately 3 tablespoons of batter in each cupcake holder. Okay? Make sure you line them. Make sure you line your cupcake pan. If you don't, it's not going to be pretty at the end. Okay? So, scoop it out. This batter is light, but it is dense. Okay? So go ahead and just fill them all up. Get them going. Show them some love. Try not to get it on the top near the edge because that part will burn, okay? Whenever I come back, it's going to be all ready. So, as we're going, you can see this is about how they fill. They're about half full, okay? So you're gonna go in, scoop, drop. That's 2 tablespoons in there. And that's 3, okay? So that's about what it should look like. If you just have a regular tablespoon, level it off, scoop it out. Best tool that you can do for that. Make sure it's clean. Best tools are a cook's clean hands, okay? Try not to wear any kind of rings or anything like that if you're gonna use your hands because they're a pain in the butt to clean, okay? When I come back, we're gonna be putting them in the oven. So, our cupcakes are in their pan, in their liners, ready to go in the oven. You are going to bake them for 1 hour at 275 degrees. Again, cold oven. Don't preheat it. Don't preheat it. Put them in there. Let them cook for an hour. Don't open the door. Don't mess with it. Don't peek. They're gonna be great. Look at them through the window. Don't open the door. Okay? So here we go. Bake. 275 degrees. Turn it on. Open your door. Place your lovely lined cupcakes inside of the oven, just like this. Don't they look beautiful? Shut the door. Set the timer. 1 hour. Start. That's all you gotta do. Okay? And we'll be back later. So we are back, and I have taken them out of the oven. And look at these delicious cupcakes. Nice and golden. They pulled away a little bit at the top. That's expected because it is a pound cake. The sugar in it naturally rises to the top, and that's what makes them nice and dense. So, I hope you make you some cupcakes. You can ice these with any type of frosting. I prefer either a cream cheese or a light, fluffy white buttercream. Or you can just be as simple and put a lemon glaze on top. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay well, and enjoy the cupcakes when you make them.